friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video. This is episode
120.
120. I've done 120 videos. That's just amazing. So I have quite a bit to show you today. I have samplers that I have worked on, and then I have some fall pieces I've worked on, and then I'm going to do a fall show and tell. I didn't get out my Blackbird, but I got out a bunch of finished pieces. Many of you have seen these before, but you know, it's just like summer reruns, you know, it's all good. If you liked it the first time, maybe you'll like it the second time. I don't know.
So like spaghetti.
Spaghetti leftover. There are things that leftovers are better, almost better, like spaghetti. Anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I don't have any life day updates. My life is really kind of boring. I did have my birthday and got to spend time with both of my kids twice in 1 week, which is unusual because even though we all live in the same city, they're very busy. They work, go to school, you know, lots of extracurricular activities for the grandkids. So I see them when I can. That's the best part of it. So anyway, Sunday night we went out for dinner together. And if you're ever in Jacksonville, at the beach off of Atlantic and Beach Boulevard, both dead end to the ocean. So on Atlantic Boulevard, if you go all the way to the beach, there's a wonderful Mexican restaurant called the Flying Iguana. And it's one of my very favorites. So anyway, we ate there Sunday night, had a great time, and it was wonderful. So anyway, I'm going to start by showing you samplers, and then I'll get into what fall I've stitched, and then I will do my show and tell, or finished parade, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I have a few delightful deliveries. Not very many, but I will show those somewhere in there too. So I might show you some plans. I don't know. We'll see how the time goes. But anyway, so first of all, I did have a finish. I finally got Elizabeth Cheatham finished. I had kind of put her away for a little while because I was not finished with the little satin stitch that goes all the way around. And I decided it was time that she got finished. So this is Elizabeth Cheatham, all finished. Sorry, it's wrinkled. I do want to get it framed at some point. I did this. This is also called the Jello sampler by my husband. And it was this row of, can you see those little peach colored sawtooth satin stitches?
Tell them why.
Why what? Oh, it's called the Jello sampler because every time I would say it looks like bar Jello, he thought I was saying Jello, so he called it the Jello sampler.
You were saying Jello.
No, I was saying bar Jello. Anyway, I did this on 40 count Prairie Grass by Seraphim with a Versoix Soilage. I like a Versoix Soilage. I know it's personal opinion and different people love it and some people don't like it. It is a thicker silk than 103 or NPIs, but I like the coverage and I love the sheen of it. So that's, for me, I just love it. Now, it would probably, I have used it on 46, it would probably still even cover good on 32 or 36. Anyway, glad it's finished. So then what else did I work on? I've kind of touched a lot of stuff, you know, like a mile wide and an inch deep. I kind of went on Sampler September and I wanted to touch a bunch of different things. But first I'll show you my birthday start. And I'm not sure what I did with the floss for this. I think it's in a bag somewhere, but I decided to start Whilst Iris Naps, Mary Gibson, with the 2 red houses. This originally was an exclusive through the Homespun Needlework Samplers and More Facebook group, and it is now available to everyone. So it's Whilst Iris Naps. You can see her website right there. And she also has a drum, if you don't want to stitch the whole thing, that she has adapted from the original sampler. And it still has the 2 red houses. So go to her website. You can get a PDF download today and you can start stitching on it. Mary Gibson 1828. And I love the way Christine from Whilst Iris Naps, she gives you a lot of information about the girl, and if she can, she even visits like the graveside, and it's really interesting. So I really like her charts. The quality of her charts is really nice too. She doesn't do a booklet. These, mostly they're PDFs, but she does a really nice high quality paper. So here's a list of the threads in case you want to start it today. You can start pulling and collecting the threads. It is really a beautiful piece. I'm stitching this on 46 count. There's no over 1. There's a little bit of satin stitch and a few eyelets, but I started it on 46 count. I think it's Thornfield. Just one second. It's the called for. Since I got it as a kit. Now, the called for is actually 36, but I decided to use 46 because I could fit it on a fat quarter. So I went all the way around with the bones of the border. My border met, although I was stitching on one of the top parts and I realized I'd made a mistake. So I did have to frog just a little bit back because I caught it ahead of time. And then I started filling in a few flowers and also starting on this inner border, which is not satin stitch or sawtooth. It's just, it actually goes 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 3 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches. So it's a regular repeat. Also on her, there's some variation on the corners of the border, but other than that, when you're going, it's completely the same. So that's nice. You don't have any weird areas where it jumps around with different counts. So anyway, that was my birthday start. I'm using the called for overdyed flosses. You can also do it in Soie d'Alger or DMC. So she gives those 3 options. Since I was doing 46, I didn't want to do the Soie d'Alger. Plus I had ordered with the overdyed anyway. So I worked on that. That was my birthday start. I did a little bit on my Friday night Zoom meeting with my friends. Houses of Hawkrun Hollow. Whew. It's summer, late summer. Houses of Hawkrun Hollow. I'm working on the very first block, which is actually over here. And I did go ahead and outline all of the blocks. I like to do that because, you know, I like to do my borders. I like boundaries. Speaking of boundaries, one day I couldn't find my comb. And I was like, do you know where my comb is? And he said, yeah, he'd been using it. And I was like, you're using my comb? No. A lot of people would say, what's the big deal? We both have gray in our hair. But for some reason I was like, don't use my comb.
Sometimes I use your toothbrush.
No, you better not. I have boundaries. Anyway, so I got the grass and a little tiny bit of start on the house. So I was glad to get that finished. So I'm just starting that. I still have Village of Hawk Run Hollow that I'm working on, and it's all good. I'm about halfway finished with it. And I'm using the called for NPIs. Carriage House and Kathy Barrick, which are, they're not the same. Carriage House is now Marty Barrick, which is Kathy's sister, but some of Kathy Barrick's originals are now Carriage House, if that makes sense. Anyway, she uses NPIs a lot, and I love NPIs, so I like to use those if I can. And I have a lot of them. And sometimes if I'm kitting something up with NPIs, and I know that it's in Houses or Village of Hawk Run Hollow, I will write Houses, so then I can go and borrow. Which brings up an interesting Happy Mail that I got. So if you don't watch I Am a Stitch Nerd, which is Laurel, she's in North Carolina, you need to. In her Etsy shop, she has, and she gifted me these. Thank you so much, Laurel. That was so sweet. They're called Borrow Markers. I've already used them. She gave them to me. I got them, I think they actually came on my birthday. And what it is, you put this in, start over, girl. For example, let's say I want to use one of the NPIs that is in Houses of Hawk Run Hollow. And I only have one skein. It's in a bag. So I take that bag off of Hawk Run Hollow, put it in the chart that I want to use it with, and then I put this in there that says color number 123 by NPI was borrowed for whatever I'm kitting up. So I'm kitting up a Scarlet House. I borrow an NPI from Houses, so I put this in there. It's like a placeholder for a floss color that you have borrowed for another chart, which I love that idea. That was her original idea. She has an Etsy store, so I'm not sure the name of her Etsy store, but I think it's I am a Stitch Nerd Etsy. I'll try to put it in or have my husband put it in. So anyway, she sent me this cute girl. So that was a bit of Happy Mail. Thank you, Laurel. Okay, back to samplers. I spent quite a bit of time working on this one. This is Elizabeth Hunt by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Love the red house. This is one that has quite a few DMC, and you actually coffee dye a couple of not all the DMC, but a couple of the called for DMC you actually put in coffee and let them kind of age a little bit, and then you can add them to your kitted project. That way it gives just a hint of we have had so much rain. I think it rained for like 2 weeks straight. It's like every day I ask my husband, are you searching for gopher wood? It's like, what? So that's what the ark was built out of. Gopher wood. Go search for gopher wood. We need to build an ark. Anyway, so for example, the main house is done in 347, and I put DMC 347 plus coffee. So that gives you an idea. It's not hard. And this is my progress on this one. I don't think I had the flowers outlined, so I have the flowers outlined. I finished the house. So there's no over 1 on this, and there's no specialty stitches. So this would be Ada friendly. No, I take that back. There is a little bit of over 1, but you could certainly substitute something. These little tiny birds at the top are over 1. That's all. So you could substitute a little flower or something. Oh, thank you, dear. Ooh, that looks hot. Hot, hot, hot. Coffee. Anyway, so that is another one that I spent quite a bit of time on, is Elizabeth Hunt. And I'm hoping I can get a finish on this during September. I really like it, and I don't have a whole lot more to do on it. There are some little birds. You can see them. I think I mentioned this last time. Little birds throughout. And they're like 4 or 5 stitches, and then you do 2 lazy daisies. So I said there's no specialty stitches, but there actually are those. But I'm going to wait and do those at the very end. And I already showed you the floss for those. So the next sampler that I pulled out to work on, I haven't touched this in quite a while, and it was really, I enjoyed getting this out. I want to spend some more time on this during the month. And that's Anton Uffendell by Hands Across the Sea. I have the booklet that has Anne on one side and Isabella on the other. So, love this. I will be a little bit intimidated when I get to that freehand embroidery. I've shared that before, but I'm just going to press on. So the only thing I did on this was to add some of the kind of the leaf stem things, and then I worked on this side. I think I only worked on this like 2 nights maybe. And then I worked on this side and did some of the flowers. The flowers, like some of the flowers have 6 colors, so they're not really confetti, they just have a lot of colors to them. So that's where I am on this one. And I think it's pretty easy stitching working on those flowers, so I'll probably go to the bottom, do some more of the stems, and then more of the flowers before I move on. There also is some over one in the top part that I would want to do before I move on to the next part. But look at this pot of flowers. Is that not gorgeous? That's gorgeous. I mean, not my stitching, but you know, the design. So on this one, again, I'm using the Versoix Soulage, and I'm stitching this on 40 count pecan butter by Lakeside. The next one that I decided to work a little bit on, and I am intentionally skipping around. I'm not doing that just because I'm a little bit, you know, weird in the head. The next one I decided to work on was Anne Rayner. This is no longer in print. Secondary market would be your only way to find it. However, there is a chart by Needlework Press called Sarah Stewart Hardiman, which is very, very similar. Has the same 2 houses. I don't think it has as many alphabets as this one does, but it's if you like the design, Sarah Stewart Hardiman has that. There is over one in this. So part of my issue with this is it's not a great chart, but I can get past that. But it calls for DMC because it's an older chart. It's actually by Threads Through Time. And this probably came out, I would say, in the 80s or 90s. I'm just guessing. But anyway, when I decided I wanted to do it, I bought my chart at the attic years ago. And somebody said, well, if you want to do it in silk, Paulette from Plum Street has a silk conversion on her blog. It's still there if you're interested. You just have to Google Paulette Stewart Anne Rayner, and it's Rayner, Anne Rayner conversion. Anyway, well, some of the colors that she used when she did it were no longer the same. Example, the Belsois crescent colors were now by Classic Colorworks, and the colors may have changed. And then there were some that were like highly variegated, so she would say I used the light color on this and the dark color on that, and I just got myself in a tizzy. Remember tizzy? A couple videos ago I talked about being in a tizzy, and anyway, so I've decided I wanted to do NPI silks, and then I got a conversion for that. Started collecting that, but unfortunately I had already started in some of the bell swap. Anyway, that's totally a long story, and I'm boring you, I'm sure. I finally settled on my colors. I said, okay, this is what I'm using. I'm not turning back. No turning back now. So I finished the house and I started working on the grass. This is on 46 count buttercream by Lakeside. Now, why in the world did I start on 46 count when there's over 1 sheep in the grass? Now, over 1 verse is one thing. You just do a letter and move on to the next letter. Anything that's like over 1 sheep, so you've got the little lamb, and it's over 1. Well, all the surrounding stitches, in order to make it coordinate with your grass stitches, you have to do over 1 in the grass around it. Does that make sense? It's like you're filling in around the lamb. So with my magnifier, I don't usually use a magnifier, I was able to do my first little over 1 sheep. He's right here. So I used full crosses, and I'm very excited because it wasn't as bad as I thought. So this is where I am, and I'm very motivated now to get back to this and really put some time into Ann Rayner. And I am, like I said, using it mostly NPIs. I do have a few in here that are not NPI, but they're all silks. So that's what I've been working on Ann Rayner, and I'm very happy about that. I think that's all the samplers I touched. I did have a couple others that I thought about for my birthday start, and I may end up starting these by the end of the month because I don't have enough whips. And that is this one. This is by the Scarlet House, and this is Sarah A. Sanderson. I believe I got this as a exclusive, but I'm not sure if it's out. So you may want to check that out. If it's not out, I'm sure Tanya will release it sometime in the next year. Sarah Sanderson. I have it kitted with the NPIs. Yes, it was an exclusive, I'm pretty sure. Sarah Sanderson by the Scarlet House. The other one was a Plum Street, and I've had this chart forever, and I saw this stitched on Becky Socks for Mom on one of her walls, and I just loved it, and I thought, I need to get that out. I don't think the picture probably does it any justice or isn't flattering. It calls for a 36 count vintage Meadow Rue. I have a piece of 40, and it calls for silks. It was originally designed for the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild in Texas, but now everybody can get it. It's the Crowned Bird Sampler. So I have not started it. I really thought about it. I still may start it. I don't know. We'll see. So my show and tell today is going to be on fall. I'll show you first a few fall things that I'm going to be working on. But first I'm going to show you my delightful deliveries. I'm going to take a break, and then I'll come back and show you the few fall things that I put some stitches in, and then do my fall parade. So, or show and tell, whatever, however you want to say it. And so let's talk a little bit about my delightful deliveries. So this pattern is one of the new patterns by Brenda Gervais. So this is Delightful Deliveries. I had gotten this pattern before. I don't know if I showed it in my deliveries last time or not. Somebody, who was I watching? Oh, I know. Just So Sherry. She calls them gifts to herself instead of Happy Mail, or Happy Mail, I think, really is gifts from other people. But there's Happy Mail. Some people just call it adding to their stash. Well, she calls it gifts to herself. Anyway, I had purchased this. It's a new Brenda Gervais, and it's called Goodness Gracious. I think I showed you this last time. Well, it calls for a linen boot camp by Bestitch Me. So I wasn't familiar with that linen, so I went to their website, Bestitch Me, and ordered. I'm not going to open this because it'll be really crinkly, so I ordered a fat quarter of that boot camp by Bestitch Me. That's a great color. So I got that, and with it she sent a little sample silk in these pretty colors. Thank you. That was a nice gift added to my purchase. And then I'm in a Linen of the Month club from Victorian Rose Needle Arts, which is just down the street, not down the street, but just down the interstate from Jacksonville. And it's Seraphim Fabrics, and this one is Moon Shadow. I think this is a closed club now, but this is a beautiful piece of fabric. It's a light, but it just has enough of a little bit of probably like a gray overtone. It's really pretty. So I got that. And then I joined the, let's see, what's it called? Sampler Guild of the Rockies. It was not expensive. It was like, I don't know, $35 to join it. And then you get the option to buy any of their specials. So this is an exclusive if you join. I think it's all sold out, so I probably shouldn't even show it, but it is something I got. It's called Tomato Hill. It's by Plum Street. And it was an exclusive offering in the Sampler Guild of the Rockies. But I think it's all sold out. I'm not sure. But you'd have to join first. But it's worth it. I have been in a guild locally years ago, but I haven't been in one, via Zoom or whatever, long distance. And so I decided it would be fun to join it because they do have exclusives like this. So anyway, it's a complete kit and it's very fun. So that is what I got in the mail for Delightful Deliveries. I'm going to take a short break and then I will talk about fall. I also have a special announcement, so please stay with me. I have a special announcement that you might be interested in participating in. So anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The first thing I wanted to talk about, and I will talk about what I teased about something you may want to participate in, so just hang on. The first thing I wanted to talk about, I did not change my display yet because a lot of what I want to put up, including my pumpkin people, which are actual doll things that I have. Anyway, I wanted to show you a lot of the fall things first rather than put them up and then have to take them down to show you. But this is, I wanted to show you the patterns because I've had a lot of people ask. This one here is the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom by Not Forgotten Farm. Many are familiar with this. Not Forgotten Farm, she has, I think she's on Etsy, and you can download that and start it today. The larger one right here is The Gather Inn by Plum Street. And I think at one point I said I finished it last year. I actually framed it last year, but I finished it in 2022. That was a very favorite of my stitches. This is a bowl full of scaries. Some of these I showed last time, but I thought I'd show you the pattern. A bowl full of scaries by Plum Street.
You did.
So that is that one. This is Waiting for Harvest by Blackbird. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me what floss I used. I used whiskey to my best of my recollection. I did not write it down, but I'm just 99% sure I used whiskey. And I used the same floss for the whole thing. So the dark parts of the floss I used for the birds, and you can see one of these, see this bird is lighter. And then I used the lighter parts for the pumpkins. The actual pattern is done in a brown or a brownish black. So whiskey by Weeks, and then I just used a plaid, printed plaid on the back. Filled it with sawdust, added a little bell. I have so many things I need to fully finish. It's kind of a sin. The last one that I've been getting a lot of questions about is this one. And it's this long skinny pillow. I couldn't find the actual pattern. However, I found one that's in that series. It's by Work Basket. And they came out with individual patterns for each month. So this is my February chart. So the one that is on display is the October one. I don't have all of the months. They came completely kitted with NPIs. I bought these years ago. I think I'm still missing like 3 months, but that's okay. Obviously, I haven't done a lot of them anyway. I think I've done a couple. So they were monthly. I think they were supposed to be like bookmarks. It just is by the Work Basket. So this one's February. The one I did here is October. Okay, got that taken care of. So let's talk about what I stitched on that was fall. Well, since my husband is waiting for me to finish Frederick's Girlfriend, I decided to put a few stitches in Frederica. This is by Carriage House. I have Frederick all finished. You're gonna get I'm being monotonous. You're gonna get bored. But here's Frederick. And now I'm working on Frederica. So I had started the border a while ago. I think I finished, I don't know, I finished Frederick probably at least 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So I decided to start Frederica. So there she is. So I'm going to fill in these little kind of black squares, and then I can fill in the wing, and then I can just work on fill in. There's a lot of stitching in this. Obviously I haven't done the border fill in, but I wanted to at least get her kind of mapped in, and then it's easy to pull it out. It's more motivating once you see it, an actual character, I think. So that is Frederica, and I'm using the called for NPIs with that. Obviously, I have some loose threads. That's okay. So that's one of the first fall that I worked on. And then sorry. And then I worked on Olga's stocking. I got a needle in here even. Hold on. Pull it to the back. Why are you laughing? Because I don't have glasses on. Because I left a needle in it.
Because you're concerned about showing the needle.
Well, the thread hanging down was kind of in the way. Anyway, Olga's Autumn Stocking by Plum Street. This is a whip. Another one I want to get finished. And I'll probably stitch on this on into October. A lot of the fall ones I'll keep stitching. So anyway, this is where I am. I filled in these little guys here, and then I started working. I got the cat finished, and I'm working on the moon. So I do have plenty of fabric. It'll go for the, I think last time I said for the foot. I meant for the toe of the stocking. So I put a few stitches in that. I may take that with me today to my stitching group. These are the flosses that are called for. There's some DMC overdyed cottons. Lots of wonderful fall oranges and rusts and golds. And then you have this cool blue, just for fun. So that is Olga's stocking, and I worked on that. Another one that I just put in a very few stitches. No, I don't even remember what and this is a Brenda Gervais pattern. Again, I could work on this one through even into November. This is the Queen of Harvest by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this is on, I haven't been telling the linens. If there's anything you want to know, most of them are the called for. And this is where I am on this one. I'm working on her dress. So it says, give thanks for thy bounty. And she has a crown on. And this one I just have the called for. But this is a picture this plus sand. It's a beautiful color. I like picture this plus. I'm using a 40 count on that one. With the called for. Again, same. I didn't do it this year on these. I've done it before on some of the like Brenda Gervais or Blackbird, where I'll just like get a big ring and put all of the colors. Like if you have 3 plum streets you're working on, like Olga's stocking, Jack's Bash, you know, if you have multiple pieces by the same designer and they're all fall, just get a big ring and put all of the threads on there. Number one, you'll eliminate, you know, having 3 Oscars or, you know, 5 ginger snaps. And the other thing is you can you just know that's Plum Street Fall, and you put them all on one. I've done that with Blackbird, like if I'm working in a book of theirs, I'll put a lot of the colors. If I know I'm going to stitch like 3 things out of a book, I'll go ahead and put all of the colors on one ring because they use so many of the same colors. So why have them on 3 rings? Like Blackbird uses a lot of sanguine. So if you're going to do 3 designs, there's no need having 3 different sanguines. You could have 2 in case you think you're going to use that all. But it just is, it's a little more efficient. My desire to be efficient. And then the last fall piece that I put a few stitches in was the wonderful Kathy Barrick. She calls it the Beast on the back of the chart. She calls it the Beast, and she even has a bear on the back. But that's Autumn at Lazy Bear Mountain. I worked on putting some of these leaves in and starting on that moon. This one I'm using 40 count hog bristle by Fox and Rabbit. I hope I have the piece in here. I was working on it last night, so yeah. I have the NPI silks for that. And I love this piece. So this is where I am on this one. Again, I put some of the leaves in over here. And you can barely see it. Keep in mind that the moon is going to be surrounded by that dark black. Aren't all blacks dark, Carol? Maybe. So it's kind of hard to see what I got done because the color matches the linen. But I got the moon outlined, so now I can just work on filling in. Again, this is hog bristle. That's more the color. I get up close, it looks gray. So that is what I stitched on this last time since I last saw you. I don't see you. You see me. I like to think I see you. And so many of you that I've met at various retreats, I feel like I've met you, and so I feel like I can maybe see you, but I can't.
Isn't that from a movie?
I see dead people with, yeah, what's his face? What's his name? He has also, oh no, he has,
Michael J. Fox.
No. It's, anyway. He has Lewy body disease or something like that. What's the name of that? Where you don't know where your body is in spatially.
5:30 in the morning.
He said 5:30 in the morning. No, I don't get up that early. I dropped something, so hold on just a second. Oh, it's a long way down there. That's what my husband does when he has to pick something up. It's a long way down there. Okay. One other thing I wanted to say that I may work on this next few weeks. This is a kit called Gather Thy Harvest Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. It calls for 46 count Dames of the Needle old top hat. I got it kitted from Country Sampler with Winter Wren. 36 count. Well, if it's 46, it's 8 1/4 by 4. So it's 186 by 96. It's going to be 10 by 8 by 10. That's pretty big for that. It's really cute though. It has the white pumpkin. Anyway, the kit came with 36 count, so I'm not sure. I want to do what the kit, but that's going to be pretty big. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, are you ready for the parade? I got out some of the patterns. I didn't get out all of them. I didn't take Blackbird off of the wall in my sewing room. So we'll just go with what we have. This was made for me by a friend in an exchange. It's A for Acorn. I think it's probably Little House Needleworks, because the person that made this really stitched either that or Cottage Garden. She stitched a lot of little, that was her kind of her favorites. A for Autumn. And it's just a little stuffed pillow. I have a couple of dough bowls that I put things in. This one is called Trick or Treat, and this one is by La Di Da. No, I take that back. This is called Smell My Feet. Trick or Treat, Smell My Feet. I'm thinking this might be a free pattern. I just have a working copy, so I don't know. Smell My Feet. I put a green on the back just for fun. Smell My Feet, La Di Da. I'm pretty sure I used like Havana on this one. So that was fun. This one is, I'm not going to take these out of the patterns, out of the plastic, because I don't want to do all that rustling. And mainly because I don't want to have to put them back. This is Autumn Cottage by Plum Street. This is an older, this came out in 2016. One of the few things I have fully finished. I have a lot of things I need to fully finish or frame. That would be a whole episode in itself. Autumn Cottage. I didn't find the pattern for this. I'm pretty sure it's On Redware Road by Scarlet House. On Redware Road. This is by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This is The Cat and the Moon. I have a black little tree, and I'll put that up when I decorate. So it'll probably be up by next time that I hang some of these things on. The Cat and the Moon. Just some crackle fabric on the back. Love his little hat. This is another, I wish I had done all the hooplas. This is Holiday Hoopla Halloween by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This bow has gotten a little out of hand here on this one. I need to rein it in. Holiday Hoopla Halloween on green fabric. I think this fabric is called Kermit, I think it's called, by Pictures Plus. And I just put some witches' hats on the back. This is the Scarlet House Button-Eyed Cat. And she used buttons for the eyes, but I just stitched the eyes because she gives you options for that too. Button-Eyed Cat by the Scarlet House. Put some fabric on the back that has October 31st. It's like a calendar. Button-Eyed Cat. This next one has 3 parts. This is Plum Street, Goodness and Plenty. So here's part 1. Put this kind of gold rickrack on the back. I mean on this trim, and then I used a green plaid, homespun plaid. So that's the first one. Goodness and Plenty. This one I put some little jingle bells. Same plaid on the back, same, oops. Well, that bell just came right off. I need to put that back on. Goodness and plenty. And then there's the bird. So that's a 3-part pattern. Very fun. I probably did the called for, which is Stars Hollow by R&R. The next one is Brenda Gervais. Be Ye Thankful. Oops, pattern first. Brenda Gervais. Be Ye Thankful. I love the ones that have sawdust. It takes a while. And some of the sawdust, I get my sawdust from his garage because his work, which by the way, speaking of Mr. Saltbox, he asked for everybody to sign up for his YouTube. And then he's teaching now. So fall semester he's teaching. So I think he probably won't work on a YouTube till after the fall semester. So be patient. So Be Ye Thankful by Plum Street. And I just put some just kind of neutral colored. I love these little ball pins and put a star or a rusty bell, something. This one I didn't get out the pattern, but I know it's Plum Street and it's part of the Cereal Bowl series. So be you to others kind and true as you would have others be to you. Oh, I did this in 22. Wow. I don't feel as productive lately as I used to be. I don't know what my deal is. This is by Stacy Nash, and this one I have a big mistake on this, but I still finished it. This was House on Pumpkin Hill Pin Keep. It was a country sampler club kit. There was a Stacy Nash club, but I think you can still get this. This is, see, this pumpkin is way too close to that bird, but, you know, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. This just has polyfill and a bow. I didn't do a lot on that one. I prefer the ones with sawdust because they just have some good weight to them. If you stuff it full enough. See, this one isn't quite stuffed full enough. So if I shook it down, you know. Whereas like this one is stuffed really full. But you can't tell the difference. It's just in the weight of it. This is Boo to You by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I've done the Santa one, but I haven't fully finished it. Boo to You by Brenda Gervais. I just did this one as a stand-up. This is kind of this really raggedy, kind of a rayon yarn. I don't know if I like it or not. I still haven't decided. But I do like the pom-pom around there. I think that's cute. This one is Bittersweet and Broomsticks by Brenda Gervais. This one I finished on a little board. Bittersweet and Broomsticks, October 31st. Isn't that cute? Brenda Gervais probably does the cutest witches. Her witches are adorable. This is Scary Mouse, Boo. I've done a few of these. I've done Bloom. Oh, I've done Boo. I wish I could do all of them because I love them all. There's one called Nest. I'd like to do that one. There's a bunch of them. So again, I finished this just as a stand-up. Use some orange on the back. Scary Mouse by Brenda Gervais. This is done on a Picture This Plus. Let me see what it called for. Pewter. It kind of has a blue-gray look. Get some of these out of the way here. Hold on. I have two pieces I haven't finished, fully finished. This is A Witch in Her Garden by Brenda Gervais. It's supposed to be made into a drum, but I haven't done that yet. I have all the stuff. It has an actual pumpkin stem that you put on top of it. So this one needs to be fully finished. Maybe by next time, we'll see. This one is, I thought I had a pattern for this one. I don't see it. Maybe I stuck it down here. I don't see it. I think this is... Oh, I don't remember. But it's Brenda Gervais for sure. I thought I got the pattern out. Oh well. I don't see it. Bittersweet? I don't know. No, there's another one that's bittersweet. Anyway, I finished that last year, but I haven't fully finished it. I thought I got the pattern out for this one too. How phooey. I'm sorry. This is a pillow, obviously. Oh, here it is. Tricks and Treats. This is an older one from Brenda Gervais with I Needle Thread. I think you can still get this on her website, which is countrystitchesonline.com. I got the kit from Shepherd's Bush, and it came with the linen and everything. However, you were supposed to do, the Shepherd's Bush was to do the dress in purple. I just stitched along with the chart just like crazy. So this is Tricks and Treats by Brenda Gervais. So every year I just store this flat and then I add the pillow because I do the, you know, and the pillow that I grabbed is really too small. So, and I had originally decided I was going to put like a button back here. Didn't do it. I used to make clothes for myself a lot. I did a lot of garment sewing when I was in high school, college, and even afterwards. I would completely line, finish a skirt, do a bound buttonhole on the skirt, and then not sew the button on. Used to drive my mom crazy. She's like, just finish it. Sew the button on. Now I love handwork, so go figure. Anyway, isn't she adorable? She is adorable. Doing her little high kick. So cute. So then, a couple more. This is by the Scarlet House Autumn Alphabet. Finish this one on a board. These boards are from her name is Terry. I think it's, I don't remember. Anyway, I'll try to get my husband to put it in the drop-down box. It's one of those crackle boards. Homestead needlework, something like that. This is not really fall, but I love to get this one out. Well, actually, it hangs on my wall. My hallway is where I put all of my out-of-season cross-stitch. So it is hanging year-round, but it's in the hallway, and I'll switch it in and out depending on the season. This is an old Birds of Feather called the Alphabet Sampler. Somebody recently was working on this, maybe, or finished it. Was that you, Olivia? Pumpkin Hollow Quilts? I did mine on the original Sparrow linen, which was also, the fabric was from Birds of a Feather. And I love this piece. I think it's just the dark linen. And I did this in 2015. Wow, long time ago. Still one of my very favorites. I don't think it's 32 count though. I think it's 36. I remember at the time when I was stitching it, I had a little bit of problem with, I wasn't wearing readers at the time. Let's see, 9 years ago. Well, maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't wearing strong enough readers. I wear 4.0 readers when I do cross stitch. And I remember I kind of struggled. And then I got some stronger readers and I was like, oh, I can see it. So that's another one that's one of my favorites. Where am I going to put this? A friend of mine stitched this for me years ago. And I'm pretty sure it's a JBW design. And she framed it and everything. To Carol. So this would have been my 2011, 13 years ago. I guess it was my 60th birthday. She gave that to me. Is that right? Yeah. JBW Designs. So thank you, Patsy. I love that piece. The next one is another favorite, A Ghoul-Tide Welcome by Plum Street. This is one that, you know, I like the see-through ability of the plastic on project bags. I just don't like what they can do to your, see how it pulled all the ink off of the pattern. Ghoul-Tide Welcome. And after it was framed, somebody pointed out that I missed a leaf down here. Oh well. Ghoul-Tide Welcome. Oh my gosh, I got a big mess here. Couple more. This is Gone Batty. Kind of appropriate. Gone Batty by With Thy Needle and Thread. This is that Kermit green linen. I framed this one myself. And I wanted it tight so that the bottom just, he looks like he's just fading into the, or she. Two more. This is a favorite of a lot of people. This is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais, With Thy Needle and Thread. Oops. I think it calls for a silk. Yes, Belsoise silk for the words and the pumpkin. And I did buy that, and I think it made a difference. Because I know some people struggle with the words showing up and the pumpkin showing up. Because I used everything that was called for. And last but not least, one of my very favorite, this is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. I have been asked so many times what linen I used. I'm pretty sure it was mink, but the mink nowadays doesn't quite look the same. So these lines are in the linen. They almost look like lightning strikes, which I just love about this piece. Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. So I'm going to take another short break, and I will be right back with that special announcement.
All the information.
Okay, so I have been graciously invited by Jean Farish one of the floss tube guests at a cruise.
Teach.
I'm going to teach something short and sweet, and this will be in February of 2026. So it's over a year out, but registration starts
I'll put the
October 12th. All the information will be available in this video. So if you're interested to sign up to go on a cruise, and the other floss tubers that'll be there will be Country Stitchers, Deb and Liz, which everybody loves Deb and Liz. So please consider coming on the cruise with me, and Mr. Saltbox is also coming. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a Caribbean, however you say it.
never been on.
And I went on a cruise when I was younger with my family, but this one is going to be spectacular. We're going to Aruba, Curacao, and what's the other one? Grand Cayman? Anyway, it's all in the information, and we'll be putting it down below. Please consider joining me for this cruise in February of 2026. So you have plenty of time to get a passport, plenty of time to get a new bathing suit, whatever. I won't be in a bathing suit, don't worry.
8 days.
So it's going to be I think it's 5 days. So it's going to be so exciting. But like I said, all the information is down below, and please consider joining me for a cruise. Won't that be fun? Anyway, I will be back when I'm back. I don't know how long it'll be. I'm going to continue stitching samplers and fall. Just continuing. So anyway, glad you stopped by for a visit, and I will be seeing you